In the second part to the Pat project, you're going to add a title and music and sound effects to the video. So let's start with the title. When you're thinking about titles and things like that, there's a couple things you have to think about. How does this title reflect the video? What type of font should I use? What type of colors should I use for my font and my background? I'm going to add a title to my Pat project. So I'm going to come over here to my titles browser, and I'm going to drag in, for this time, the basic title. I'm going to stick it over the top of the video, right there. And I only want it to go on the brick. So about right to there is how long my title will be. So right now it's only about a second. Now, if I select the title, and you can see over here on my inspector window that I can come right here and I can change my titles. I can also put my playhead over the top of it, click on it, and come up here and change it as well to be whatever I want. So in Final Cut, there's always more than one way to do something. So Pat can't sing, and I'm able to move that around on the canvas. So one of the things I want is I want to change the size of it. So I'm going to make it a little bigger so you can see it. Remember, the rules for text are you have to use a dark text on a light background and a light text on a dark background. And text must be shown long enough for the average person to read it. Now, one of the things I can do is I can change the font, I can change the color, I can do a bunch of things over here. And you see I can give the text an outline, I can give it a glow if I turn that on. And if I hit show here, I can get in there and choose a glow color to maybe help it show up. Maybe I give it a nice red glow. Okay, so that's what I can do. Now, to manipulate this, because I have it part of the whole video, I'm going to turn on my distort tool, and I'm going to distort it so it lines up with the lines on the brick. So I still don't like the way it looks, so I'm going to go back into my text and turn off my distort tool. And then what I want to do is I'm going to probably make it a little bigger and see if I can really work on making sure it shows up on that brick. So there we go. So then this is part of the video in the environment, and that's the beginning of my video. So that's one way I could do with text. I can also change the font. So remember that font is very important. So for me, I want a font that somehow says musical notes. So there's an example of my text. Another thing you have to make sure of when you are putting text on screen is to make sure it's in the title safe area. So if you go up here to view on your canvas and show title safe, action safe zones, right here these yellow outlines indicate the safe zone. So everything you put should be inside there, because different TVs show different things because there's different size TVs. So right now my title's pretty good. However, the G is outside the title safe for some TVs. So if I was going to fix this, I would move my title over to the left a little, and then it'd be safe for all TVs. So remember to use the title safe zone and make sure that your text is inside it so it'll show up on all TVs. So if we play this, this is what we have. In the second example that we have for title, I'm going to stick the title in the front part of the video. So I'm going to drag it back in here. Now, with anything like this, if I didn't like my title that I picked, I can always grab a different title, pull it over, and replace the one that I chose. So it's totally up to you. Once again, I can come over here to my inspector window and I can change the title, or I can come right here and change it. It doesn't matter. Either way works. So I now have my title in, but I want to change the font to something that, once again, reminds me of musical notes because Pat can't sing. So I come over here and I can choose all kinds of different fonts, and I'm going to try to find something that says musical notes. So there we go. Now, if I don't like any part of this, like the size or anything like that, I can manipulate that, or the color and things. But one thing I don't like is I don't like the background color. So I'm going to go over here to my generators browser, and I'm going to select it. And then it has different backgrounds I can put behind my text. So all I have to do is grab a background and pull it in and drop it underneath my text. And there we go. There's my beginning. Now, once again, just like I manipulate text, if I select the background, over here in my inspector window, I can change some of the aspects of my background. I can change the color and things like that. I kind of liked there we go. I kind of like that color. So there's my title. So this is what we created. So now you're ready to add a title to your pet project. Remember, you need to think about how your title goes with the video, what font you should use, and what colors you should use for your fonts in your background. Also, you need to remember the rules for text. Make sure you use a dark text with a light background and a light text with a dark background, and that your text is on screen long enough for the average person to read it. And finally, make sure that your title is title safe.